Welcome to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference, powering the good in our community. And we're kicking off talking about Southwest Tennessee Community College. We are joined by Dr. Evan McHugh. He is the Dean of Allied Health and Natural Sciences, and also Suzanne Gibson, the Director of Community Programs and Engagement, Southwest Workforce and Community Solutions. So how are you two doing?
Doing great.
Wow, that kind of introduction. How can we not be doing good? This is great.
Absolutely. So you all do amazing work in the community and are really doing so much important work in terms of making sure that our workforce is skilled and that people have access to opportunities to grow and develop and earn their degrees. And so let's start with some context though. Suzanne, let's start on your end. Give us just a basic background for Southwest Tennessee Community College.
So we are a two-year college and we are open access. So we want anyone that wants to come here and better themselves to come join us at Southwest. We have over 120 programs to choose from. We try to we are very relevant to the job market. So people leave and they go into very good lucrative jobs from us. And we are here to help people better themselves. And we have Tennessee Promise and Reconnect. So people can go at no cost, which makes it even better. Some people go right into careers. Others roll over into working on their four-year degree and then go on from there. So we're just thrilled to be working with students and thrilled to be part of the community to help build up our workforce.
Absolutely. On your end, Dr. McHugh, you kind of mentioned it was before we started, but a really clever tagline, increasing the degrees of opportunity. Talk about that aspect of really plugging in, but opening up so many new opportunities.
I think a lot of times what we see it is that there's only one opportunity where I stand because I can't get anywhere else. I can't do anything else. And yet all of a sudden, here's the college saying, listen, yes, you can. And what I think a lot of times we want to get across to students is that the education helps to increase their degrees of, as you say, opportunity. I call it degrees of freedom. I want them to be able to make that choice down the line of things they want to go into. They would have even thought, hey, I can actually be working in emergency medical services. I could actually be working in a field that's in a medical career. I mean, the opportunities here, especially in the Memphis area, are just amazing. And at that point, they didn't think that was even possible, but all they had to do is check. And all of a sudden, this college is what provides them that opportunity, that catalyst to go ahead and make that opportunity happen for them. Open up other options they never even thought of. I mean, all of a sudden it's a new thing that I can do this. It's changing the I can't to now I can. And that's what I really appreciate about this college.
Share a little bit of some of the access points, because on your end now you have a laptop program. So you've opened up the online opportunity in a big way for students to learn online. And that's a big part of everything going on right now, obviously with the pandemic. You also do have labs and other things that are in person. And so talk about those two pieces and the health and safety on the in-person, but obviously the access to the laptop for the virtual.
Yes, so we have a program where any student can borrow a laptop. So, we really try to help them. We've helped people with their internet and, all kinds of issues because it's a new virtual world. And we've really worked hard to roll our students over into the virtual world and to be successful. So, we work with them every step of the way. And, we look at people on an individual basis too, and just really try to help them, get through any kind of roadblocks they're having.
Talk about the in-person on the campus side, because I know there's the temperature checks and the masks and some of those aspects to make sure that students are healthy.
Our goal is really to keep people safe and to feel good about coming on campus. So, we do the campus access where they do an assessment. So we just make sure they're healthy, fever-free, kind of questions you're running into all over town. We take their temperatures. We, very aware in the classroom of social distancing. We've kind of reformed some classrooms to make it safer and, encourage everybody to keep their gloves on and their masks, of course, at all times. So, I think we got a lot of compliments from the health department about
absolutely
how careful we're being. So
public safety has been absolutely outstanding. They've just really have come into this whole thing really supporting all we can do to make this place as safe as possible. So hats off to them, because we have every particular room, every particular, excuse me, not room, but building monitored and certainly accessible only through those particular opportunities for them. They're there. They've been really helping us keep it. And then our physical plant has been daily cleaning rooms, keeping things up and ready each and every class. I mean, we actually have to get a schedule out to make sure they know and they want it. I mean, it's not a point of they want it now as far so they can get their preparation. It's really a place where they want to make sure they have addressed every possibility they can to make it as right for them. Because I will share with you, that face-to-face piece is absolutely vital for a number of our programs, especially in the health science areas. I always think about a person doing phlebotomy using a computer and a mouse. I would really be concerned about that happening with my arm, as they do that. And our phlebotomy people and our staff and faculty, they're there to go ahead and provide the best opportunities for them. But safety is, of course, number one, because they want to make sure that tactile type of learning is still there, and they're working every way we can to address that. So
yeah, go ahead and stay on that side. Talk about we'll do credit and non-credit. Let's stay on the credit since we're talking about your world. Give us a little bit of talk about the hot subjects. When you talk about the programs and the things that are really important right now with the pandemic, but you're seeing the growth and development, especially around the freedom and the opportunities. What are the hot programs right now that students need to be looking at?
Well, I can't help but speak enough about what's going on when you think of pandemic and all the things. The first responders that have been out there, they've been on the cameras, they've been on the television. It's all of a sudden becoming a really, really hot opportunity, because these are people that are directly on the front lines trying to go ahead and provide assistance and help. And they've done just that. They're starting to see those kind of numbers taking place right now in our enrollments. I mean, and again, when we do enrollments, we have to also take into consideration social distancing, all those kinds of things, and then the size of the room, all those comes into place. And then you take on top of that the clinical sites and the preceptorships where they're going to be working within the hospitals. We're now going through that process of trying to, pursue getting vaccinations, trying to get that now established, because that's becoming an extremely important piece for our staff, for our students. So that one, certainly anything that's dealing with, you see the pandemic and a direct impact on that. Medical lab technicians or phlebotomy. I mean, the testing is going on like crazy. I can't imagine. American Esoteric Labs, our company here in town, I mean, they hire a number of our lab students. This is what it's going. They have jobs. They need them filled. And so it's a great opportunity for students, and as they go ahead and pursue those areas. And then, of course, I won't say enough about nursing, because that particular program is just fills every single time, and it's very competitive. It's getting that way. But students, if they have that heart desire for, increasing their degrees of freedom, they can make that happen for themselves and getting into the program.
Well, I like the fact that you touch on working with the corporate partners, and really almost immediately, as soon as they come out, they know they have job opportunities. And I think that's a really big piece of this in terms of the relevance, but the immediacy of going through these programs. There are job opportunities coming out. And especially when you talk about these programs and how hot and important they are right now, really, really great opportunity, as you elaborate, to say, go through these programs, you have an opportunity to take that next step.
I'd like to share quickly one, just to piggyback on that, is that clinical portion absolutely becomes, foundational for that opportunity. They get a chance to show themselves right then. And it's from that point, almost in every case, they say, oh, and by the way, when you're done, come on over. We'd like to have you on board. So thank you for sharing that. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about Career in a Year, and you even have funeral services education as a program. So it covers a wide spectrum.
Well, the thing, of course, is the idea of, students are at one point, how can I get there to the next point as soon as possible? I want to see change in my life. And that's the reason, obviously, for the Career in the Year type of process. Our Farm Tech program is one of those particular pieces of actually getting into the behind the counter and working within the pharmacies in a really, really fantastic opportunity for jobs and placement, because that's just another area that just continues to grow leaps and bounds. And then certainly I've already talked about the phlebotomy. One of the things I really appreciate our program here is the outreach they have towards trying to go ahead and be able to meet the needs of students at times where they're really in their worst time. I mean, they're having a real challenge and a struggle. When I say that, I noticed that in our phlebotomy program, I had to kind of make sure I look at my notes here, but we have this group called the Collective Blueprint here in Memphis. And these are students that are certainly trying to, get on track again and get back into the opportunity of the workforce. Well, we're working with them. They're working with them the idea of how to prepare and getting ready for class and those kind of things, and teaching them the study skills and things needed. And then all of a sudden, we're actually having them in for the phlebotomy courses, getting them trained and getting them a chance to go ahead and take that step that they would have never even thought was possible. That's happening. That's really going on. And I can't speak enough of that outreach that's going on, not only there, but also in our paramedic EMS program. They're stepping out, reaching out to others. And of course, Shelby County Schools, so that's another area in this case too, that we have the dual credit happening. In this case, that dual credit can be associated with getting them into potential jobs right when they get out of high school, if not just a year or so after. So
Yeah.
I thank you for sharing that. It's really important because they want to have that opportunity quick, and then it can go from there. That's what they can see. They don't want to stop there. You can continue on always.
Yeah, and it goes back to your point about the freedom. I mean, when you look at the flexibility now of the online learning, the on-campus learning, when you look at that flexibility, the immediacy and the opportunity of having the career in a year and being able to translate that over really fast, but then the structure there of working with the companies to know that going through these programs, there are jobs immediately available. That's powerful.
Absolutely.
Let's switch over, Suzanne, on your end and talk about the non-credit side of this. So give a little bit of your world, and then we'll dive into some of the hot topics there in the programs.
Well, we have, our programs are, many of them lead to certifications, but they are programs that are even faster sometimes than a career in a year. They're usually 8 to 12 weeks. And, but we go in nicely with our healthcare unit. So a lot of times people will come to us and they can get say like an EKG certification in about 8 weeks. But then, they get their toes wet, they can get into the field.
Exactly.
And, oftentimes they'll come back and go into our nursing program and things like that. But, we're seeing a lot of people that are looking for career changes right now. And we give them the opportunity to go 8 to 12 weeks and, they can get into a new field, especially people in the hospitality industry. They move over nicely into healthcare often because they have a lot of those good people skills that translate well. The other thing we're doing, so we had many of our healthcare classes were on campus. Now we also have live virtual classes, so people can actually, be in the classroom, but on their computer, which makes that flexible for many people. And then we've got programs where it's strictly online and you can do it 24/7, so if you wake up at 3 a.m, you can do your classwork. And that's very flexible for people, that are working, things like that.
I think what's really neat too is when you look at just the variety of the offerings. I mean, I'm just looking on my end to go from the EKG and the farm tech to the home healthcare aid to accounting and finance, business leadership, IT, residential contractors. I mean, you cover a very wide spectrum of opportunities there.
Yes. And, the IT, we've got several different certifications and that's very hot. We're doing, at times we do different programs where it's grant funded. So that's always nice, but we also do have very flexible payment plans. So, people can kind of work things out. And we are very excited about the new limited liability contractors course that we have. Yeah. So contractors that are looking to build 125,000 or less, they can come do our class. Then they don't have to sit for the exam as long as they successfully complete it. That is instead of the exam, but it's going over very well. We just launched that and we've already had several people graduate from the program. So that's very exciting. And we see it probably will uptick quite a bit this spring with the new construction. There's a lot going to be going on this spring and we're just excited for the economy to get going again, but we're really looking at careers, where people can go right back in and, where there's going to be a lot of openings, IT, healthcare, like I said, construction. So we have a lot of good options.
Well, when you talk about the economy, I mean, you really are an engine for the economy. When you look at the talent pipeline and creating those opportunities, both working with the companies and obviously the students to give them the freedom, the degrees of freedom, it really is powerful. But to know too that right now with the pandemic, I mean, you do have people who are losing their jobs. Well, now's the perfect time to go in and learn new skills and go on this new path and open up, that freedom. And then for those who say, I want to just grow and expand my opportunities, now is the perfect time. So there's no better time than now to really pour into everything you're doing. Wrap up with, contact information. Where do we go to learn more? How do we start accessing this? So where does everyone go to learn more about Southwest Tennessee Community College?
So our main website is southwest.tn.edu. If you want to check out our continuing ed programs at southwest.tn.edu/CE for continuing ed. I can be reached at sgibson12@southwest.tn.edu.
Well, and then Dr. McHugh, what would you add to that in terms of any other contact information, any other things you want to throw out there?
Yeah, obviously the webpage is certainly going to be very powerful in terms of its information. By the way, under that, I would encourage others to go ahead and take a look at the academic side of what we have to offer. But we have a lot of video and a lot of things that communicate what's going on these days. So if they don't even know about them, they get a chance to actually see it. They actually meet students who have gone through the program. So I would really encourage them to take a look at that piece. And certainly, as Ms. Gibson has shared, my email address is ejmchugh@southwest.tn.edu. We're here to serve you. We're servants. That's really what this is all about. We're here to serve you. We want to do anything and everything we can. Our student services programs and our advisors are just outstanding. They're out there. They're reaching each and every day, and they're actually open. They're physically on campus, which is really exciting. That showing that sign that we're looking at moving forward. So, but I would encourage the students, please make a connection. It's right there. They have full, and we actually have a brand new system that we give students full access about how they want to go ahead and pursue their program. It tells them about that. It goes through that. So a lot of exciting things are happening right now.
Absolutely. So make sure everyone, southwest.tn.edu is the website. So that's the easy place to go. And then Southwest TN is the handle on social media. So that makes it very easy. So Suzanne, Dr. McHugh, thank you for all you do and your team. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jeremy. Appreciate it. Blessings.